Hello again, friends and loyal WulffPack members. Chaos with you, and welcome back to Into the Black, the series where we go and explore the universe of Elite Dangerous to find out what mysteries it holds. So here we are with Commander Mel Reynolds, and right now we are on our way to the Omega Nebula. We are not that far away now, in fact. I suspect we're going to be there fairly soon. Right now we are only 13 jumps away from our destination. So let's go and see what we can find on the way there. Thankfully, the area of space that we are in currently seems to be almost untouched. The last 10 systems or so I've been in have been completely unscanned, completely untouched by any other commander, which I am extremely happy about. Well, the question remains, how close are we going to have to get to this nebula until we start finding systems that have been touched before? Oh, there we go. And let us see. Has anyone been here? No, again, another system that is completely untouched. Nothing too drastically interesting here, though. Let's go and see how far away the other star is. It's not that far, in fact. I was almost expecting to be able to go and scan this star from where we were scooping in that star. Perhaps not, though. But I'm not complaining, because this is only 3,000 light seconds away from the main star. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be scanning this fairly soon. And there we go. Just as we hit around about 2,000 light seconds, we start scanning. Now the question is there anything else really worth scanning? Well, I suppose we can just go and scan the rest of the planets here. There aren't that many. I mean, usually, recently I've been scanning everything in the system bar the moons, just because some of them there are way too many of them. But we'll scan as much as we can on the way in here. This is going to be done very, very soon, and I reckon this is like a T, I'm about to say a T class. There we go. And here we go. There's one. That's the closest one to us. I'm going to go and work on the basis of hitting the closest ones that have not been scanned. And we'll just zip back and forth between them doing that. So we've only got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things that we're going to go and scan. Well, actually 7 if we actually bother scanning the moons. But there's only 2 here, so we might as well. So yes, this is good. I'm going to go and get some scanning done. And I'm actually quite happy to finally be back, well, to be back doing this at the moment, because I had a little bit of an issue over the weekend where I went and reinstalled my whole computer. So I'm kind of finally got everything back to a point where I can actually start playing and recording again. Because I've been putting off doing this install for the last 2 years. So yeah, we're finally running a lot smoother. And I'm quite pleased with that, so the video quality should be a lot better. There we go, that's that, and let's go and get the moon as well. So we'll slow down, let's have a look at the system map. As we can see, we've got 2 landable planets with no atmosphere, but we've got these atmospheric worlds as well. So that's interesting. So that's another ice body. What is the next closest one? It's this one. 200 light seconds out, we'll go and scan that one. So I'm not going to go bother taking too much of a close look at these ones, because they're all just ice bodies. We'll go and scan these particular ones. Now, I think that might be the nebula we're heading to over there, but it might not be as well, because I think our nebula, I think we're a lot closer to it than that would actually appear. Because we're 13, or is it 12 jumps now? It's 12 jumps now. We're only 12 jumps out. And with this ship only having a fairly small jump range of 27.47 light years, that's not all that far away. I mean, let's slow us down a touch again and have a look back and see just how far we are away. We're only around about... 288 light years. So it's not that far, really. Though I say it's not that far. I'm used to flying around in an Anaconda with a 64 light year jump range. And yes, for those of you a bit confused, yes, the Anaconda has the single best jump range in the game. It is not the Diamondback Explorer. Coriolis will tell you that it's the Diamondback Explorer because it says its maximum jump range is this. Is better than the Anacondas, but that's not true. That's only when you are low on fuel. Because the lower the fuel you go, the lighter your ship's getting because you've not got as much mass. Because jump range is dynamic. I keep saying this, but not everyone kind of gets this. So jump range is constantly worked out depending on how much fuel you've got. I mean, we had a really lovely visualization of this when we were flying around with Ducky not long ago. Yeah, I think it was in the last episode of Zero to Hero, maybe the one before it. Because we actually got to see the jump range changing as we were fuel scooping. Right, moving on to the next one. So basically we've got a couple more things to go and scan here. We don't want to go too fast. But we've got this one left to scan and this one left to scan. So it's just these two. So these are both the landable planets. So we could go and land on them if we wanted. Although I don't see the point in it all that much recently. Unless it's a really interesting looking planet. But it's very rare I'm coming across really interesting looking ones recently. I'd love to go and find one with a bunch of ridges, but most of the ones I'm finding out here are usually ice worlds or so on, which are just almost completely flat. So, yeah. I mean, let's slow down a touch again. And whilst we're scanning this one, we'll slow down even more drastically there. I mean, let's go have a look. Because these are pretty much what they're going to look like when you get up close and personal with them. We've got a couple of craters, and this one's virtually completely smooth. Not that those are actually anything to go by, it's these ones in fact. So it's that one and that one. They look very, very smooth. Oh, no, didn't mean to bookmark it. Well, there we go, we got that. Let's actually go remove that bookmark, because I didn't mean to go and do that. So let's delete. Delete, and we'll go and look at this one. Because there we go. We can see it's virtually smooth. Few little crevices, and that's about it. I'd love to find one where it's just totally and utterly kind of just scarred all over the whole surface. I think that might be where we're going, actually. It's entirely possible. I'm not sure if we're closer to the Trifid Nebula or the Omega Nebula. I mean, whilst we're actually going over there, let's actually have a look, because I'm rather curious now. Because there's the Omega, there's the Trifid. We're actually closer to the Omega. So what we're seeing is probably the Trifid off in the distance then. Alrighty. Okay. Good to know. I mean, there's a bunch of other systems and a bunch of other nebulae around here that we could go and visit, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I think what we're going to go and do is we are going to go and visit the Thor's Eye system on the way back. Because I do believe the Thor's Eye is the closest black hole to the bubble, I think. And not to mention, it's also got a really awesome purple star, which I want to go and have a look at and see how it's changed since Frontier's changed their graphics. Because the last time I was there, Elite was still using DirectX 9. I'm rather curious to go and see how it's changed. Well, there we go. That's another one of these scans. Let's have a quick look. Getting closer to this. We're not going to go and do the external cam. We're just going to get a bit of a closer look. And target our next system. So that is where we're going. Look, as you can see, it's rather flat and uninteresting. A lot of the systems out here seem to be just like this. I mean, it's more like an eggshell than anything else. It looks like a giant Mentos in space. Alright, well, let's move on to the next system. As you can see, we can see there, looks like there's almost like a stellar nursery over there where lots of young stars are. But they're all seriously bright over in that direction. I do believe we're actually moving away from the core, I think, the way that we're going. We'll find out when we get into the next system. So, same as always, we'll scan, park ourselves in the Corona, whilst we're scooping and scanning the star at the same time. This, yeah, I thought so, not a lot here. But let's have a look. We are travelling away from the core, correct? Oh, no, we're not, actually. We're travelling perpendicular to it.
Fuel complete.
Yeah. So we've unlocked an engineer already, and that's the one that we've got access to. That's Elvira Martuk, I believe. I mean, I want to go over to the core at some point in this year, but I think we'll do that next season of Into the Black. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to go from the core, but from Jonai, over to Colonia, and then from Colonia we'll go to the core. And then from the core we might do something else. Maybe we'll go over to Beagle Point or whatever. I don't know yet. But yeah, there's an M-class star. Looks a little bit more orange than red. A little less... a little different. Oh, there we go. Look at that one. So tiny, yeah, it's only 141 light seconds away. That is a really tiny star. By the colour of it, I'm thinking L. Yeah, L class. There we go. Cool. Good to know. Good to know that I actually do know my star classes. Yeah, right. I'm just getting lucky. It's all luck, no skill. So let's get going. Now, what I'm hoping to do with this right now is try and get to the nebula as fast as possible. And then get back from there equally quickly. Well, I really want to get back to the core. Well, not to the core, to the bubble, I should say. I keep saying core because I'm thinking of the core worlds in Firefly. But no, we want to get back to the bubble so we can go and hand in our data and everything before 2.4 hits. Because we don't know much about how the Thargoids are going to be implemented once they get into the game, I don't really want to take any chances. And look at this, a bunch of stars actually.
Fuel scoop complete.
So let's go and scan this one. Yep, right next door to where we are currently. So that's great. And I do believe these are all non-discovered, potentially. Yeah, great. So we're going to be getting our names on these. We're not going to be getting a massive amount for them, but we're going to be getting enough. And we're going to scan at least one black hole, which is going to give us a good amount of money. And this was 6,000 light seconds, but we're probably going to start scanning this around about 2,000 to 3,000 light seconds away. But it's always nice to have your name on a star. I enjoy having that. But yes, as I said, I've just recently reinstalled my rig. I reinstalled Windows from scratch, but naturally I went and forgot to back up my Kerbal Space Program game. So I've kind of lost all the save data. I haven't technically lost it. I kind of still have it. But it's on the old hard drive, which is no longer mounted in the computer. So I could get it back. It'd just require a bit more work. But I'm very tempted just to start that series again, since I've learned a lot more about it. I think that's what I'm going to do. If you care at all, let me know in the comments, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore in this video. And there we go, we started scanning a little bit before 3,000 light seconds, so I was right. 2,000 to 3,000 light seconds was on the money. And after we scan this, we're going to go and scan the planet that is actually orbiting around this. Now, looking at the orbital line ahead, this looks like a very eccentric orbit. I'm hoping it is, in fact, a very eccentric orbit, because I don't know if I've ever seen any planets with eccentric orbits in the game before. Let's go and see. There it is, in fact. Yeah, it does look like a very, very eccentric orbit, where the periapsis and the apoapsis are vastly different. The periapsis would be its closest point to its orbiting body, or the body which it's orbiting, and the apoapsis is the furthest point. Now, I'm hoping that this isn't just an illusion from what we're looking at, but this does look like it. I mean, we'll fly over, we'll go and see if it is, or if it's just we're approaching it from a funny angle. Because I'm really hoping that Elite Dangerous does actually go and model these eccentric orbits into the game. It looks like it does from here. Now look at me sounding like I know what I'm talking about. I only really know as much about this as I do from playing a lot of Kerbal. And again, I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. I'm going to go and record another one of those today. But so far, that does look extremely eccentric. We will have a look at it once we scan the planet. We might get some more detailed information about it. I don't know off the top of my head whether we get given the orbital data of the bodies that we're scanning on the system map. I'm rather curious to go find out whether we do or not. There we go, because this is definitely not technically a stable orbit. Let's have a look. Gravity substitution, atmosphere type, atmosphere composition, orbital period. Yeah. It's semi-major axis. We do get this. Okay, orbital eccentricity, orbital inclination, from periapsis, orbital period, axial tilt. We do get the information, but I don't know what most of these are. Because it doesn't say anything about apoapsis here. I'd love to know what that would be. But it does look really interesting. And look at this, it's actually a methane-rich atmosphere as well. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a high metal content world. I almost misread that for a second, thinking that was a ammonia world. I don't know how I got that from that. But oh well. Yeah, rotational period. It takes 46 days to rotate. So a day is 46 days long, potentially. And its orbital period is 69.2 days. All right, okay. So it's its day. Sorry, its year is about 50% longer than its day. Oh, I love things like this. At least that's what I think it is from looking at that. I could very well be wrong, because I'm no astrophysicist.
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, let's go and let's see if we can find some blue planets. That's just what I'm hoping to see. I mean, I've seen about a couple on this particular trip out, but I haven't seen all that many. Then again, I am travelling around at really fast. I'm travelling around at the fastest travel speed, so I'm using long-range jumps. I'm not going by economical route. I'm going by fastest route. And I know a lot of explorers prefer to go by an economical route, or even much better than that. But nah, I like just getting to where I'm going quite quickly and then exploring around. Well, let's see what we got on this system. This looks like a few. Oh, look at that. This looks interesting. That's going to be a high metal content with an atmosphere, and that's another high metal content. Ooh. If I had an SRV, that would be great to go and pick up some materials, but we don't have an SRV, unfortunately. So let's go and have a look at these. Oh, is that? Yeah, it's too far around the opposite side. We can't scan it through the star. So let's go and get ourselves on the way. Again, there's what looks like the stellar nursery off in the distance. That looks amazing. I do like that. Now, like I said, the plan for this commander from Commander Mel Reynolds is after we've gone and finished this little round trip, we're going to go and sell all our data off to Elvira Martuk so we can increase our rank with her, get the grade 5 frameshift drive upgrades for long range, and then go and potentially have enough money as well to go and buy and set up a Diamondback Explorer. So this is going to be awesome. Now, it's amazing that we've been going around and we've got so far and done so much with this little dinky hauler, just to prove that it could be done. Now, I know a lot of people don't like exploring in small ships, but I know a lot of people like doing that as well. So I've been out exploring in an Anaconda, I've been out exploring in an Asp, and I've been out exploring in the Diamondback. Even though the Diamondback was cut slightly short when it detonated about around a star. But there we go, we got that one. We're now scanning the little planet next to it. Is this terraformable? It is not, but it does have pristine reserves. So that is kind of cool. Soon as we finish scanning both of these, we'll get a bit of a closer look. And here we go. There is our high metal content world. Gotta say, I kind of like the look of this one. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to turn off the orbital lines just yet, because I only realised once doing this I'd forgotten to bind it to a key. But we'll get that fixed, hopefully for future close-up looks. But this does look really nice. You can really get the sense of depth with those clouds there. Now let's go and have a quick gander at the other one as well. This is another... Oh, it's a rocky ice world. Oh, okay. That actually does look kind of cool. You know what? Let's actually go and have a look down on the planet's surface. Because that does look kind of interesting. It's got a bunch of crags and crevices. So let's go and see what that's like down on the surface. So here we come on the approach. Just look at that. Lovely, lovely little sunrise there. Although the sun does look a little bit small, does it not? I do love this kind of view where we can just see the planet. There's just the day side of the planet just come rolling around to us. This place does have a lot of lovely little crevices that we're going to go and have a quick look down at. Now again, it would be amazing if we could actually go and drive around in these, but we don't have that option, so we'll just have to make do without. I just do love the amount of detail that comes in on these planets as well. We'll just look at all of those meteor impacts. And it looks like we're still above the drop point. Although it does sound like we're getting awfully close to it. And here we go. Just look at that. Wow. Down at the base in all of these little ridges here, it looked so smooth from orbit, but just look at how much wow, just look at the geography there. That topography is amazing. Let's get a little bit closer. We don't want to get too close because I don't want to end up having to be sent back to the rebuy screen. But just look at that. That is spectacular. Yes, potentially some of you may be saying, but Chaos, it's just another beige world. Yeah, it may be, but it's an interesting looking one for me. So much. Wow, so many crevices. And this planet's just got crevices within crevices. It's amazing. I think this is absolutely spectacular. I really do love this game. But you know what? I think that's going to be it for this video. I do hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like the video if you've liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Neither of those good enough for you, that's what the comments are for. You can also come and join our community on Facebook or Anara. Links are going to be in the video description. I've been Commander Chaos Wolf from Sci-Fi Gaming. You guys, as always, have been epic. I will see you soon. And until next time, my fellow commanders, keep flying and stay shiny.